And we're live.
And welcome in, everyone. Hello, lad, lasses, and NB badasses.
I'm reading my breakfast.
That's at least. So I'm the one that actually prepared and eat breakfast before going live. Then again, to be fair to John Bruckman, he does a lot more to prepare for the show to go live than like I do. I just show up and tweet and promote the stream to like all the places as it were.
Honestly, because I
So,
have everything already set up, I think you do more than I do at the start of the show. I have to
I
start two
do.
programs and send you a link.
While it's
Oh,
like
wait, I
I'm
also have
corrected.
to set up the thing on YouTube, so I have to do three things.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so what do I have to do? Take the link, think about something to like say to promote the show. Like what I said, is just so that you know what's coming up. Trans rights introduced in Congress, but will do anything? Question mark. Should we hold those accountable to those who with certain political views or actions? Damn it, the grammar of that sentence was terrible. Oh well. Question mark. And how can you turn your passion to a career? Question mark. Which I think is not sure if Isaiah Taylor would be interested in talking about that, but there is like a question he posted to all of social media to his Facebook. That's all his social media is for. Hey Joe McClory. And so I was just kind of like, if he shows up as it were, then like he probably will. I haven't seen it in the chat yet. And then it will be it's probably an interesting question to discuss. I guess we can still discuss it. Anyway, so that's and there's also something fucking going on. There's Isaiah speaking of which going on in Missouri. And hey, Joe McClure, how you doing? How does the one Reet? Because I have a itchy sunburn. Ooh, olive oil, that green stuff, as it were. Good evening,
It's
Mitchell.
just a
How you doing?
spoonerism. Don't read too much into it. It's not a real word.
Just like I said before, time heals all wounds. Except if you have a rash, there you're just better off with ointment. So hello everyone. How's everyone doing?
Um, good.
Good.
Seven.
Uh, yeah. I'm. I mean, it's just again, like I said last night when I was playing golf with friends with Necronomicon, is like myself. I'm healthy for now. I mentally, I'm actually well, better off than like most of my friends. Knock on wood. I'm lucky in that front, and I just like. So if there's discussing about myself, I'm fine. When I start thinking about my comrades in needs and stuff like that, I'll post Phoenix and Joanna's links when I get around to it. Hey, there's just heretic, how you doing? Uh, that's where it's just like fucking how capitalism is ruining the world and causing my friends to suffer. Ah,
I do like I'm oh by the way, I went to Pride yesterday in Tallahassee and I picked up these awesome
Nice.
um brand
nice.
awesome, the what's
That's
this
the Pride one. That's the new Pride one. Instead of just like the
That's
normal rainbow one, which
that's just
gay
the
people still
general LGBT pride flag.
yes. So that's the old one, just the general rainbow one, and the other one you have in your right hand is that's the new one because like it includes the trans triangle and then brown and black because as Joey would like tell you there are brown and black people that are queer too, and also Joey because months ago you were on the Fluid Voice, which by the way they're going to have a new show tonight at at like 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. They're going to they had Joey on to talk about how even in queer spaces there's still some racism there or like subtle racism or sometimes overt racism and it's kind of thing for queer people that are black and brown. Yeah, they kind of want to they have queer spaces that are just black and brown because they can get tired of white people. So yeah. That's cool. You went to Pride. How do you like it?
it was magical. It's like everyone like actually loved being around each other. It
Hmm.
was a very like open and tolerant atmosphere. You had everyone of different races, different ethnicities. Just people just getting along. And the funny thing is it happened here in Florida. And maybe I don't know if you guys saw my pictures, but it's like
I think I did. I saw something. Yes.
so it's those are pictures that I took with my camera. So yeah, I'm actually getting into the whole photography thing, but it
Hmm.
was very calming and
Need my microphone.
loving experience. So I don't know why there's so much hate towards that community when it's just because funny enough, before I went to that event, I actually went to Publix to get some lunch because I just got my food stamps.
Hmm.
And I saw like this like overweight, ugly looking white dude with a fuck Biden hat on, and I'm just like, so like there's
Well, hold on. He says fuck Biden. Doesn't he know the joke is now let's go Brandon?
well, I don't know, I don't know, but it's like there's that person, miserable and whatever. He has a daughter, which whatever. And then there's like all these people over here that are just like having a good time living, and it's just like okay, like it was definitely a very weird experience. Like
Hmm.
there's that guy, and then there's all these people that I just met, and everyone's peaceful and having a good time. So is the thing with Republicans and conservatives is it just that they're just miserable, or is it
Yes. Well, honestly, it is a lot of misery on their part, but it's also a
Fear.
lot of fear that they have. Just wanted to mention in the chat that sucks, Metro. Not great. Had a mini stroke on last Tuesday. I got all my medicines from the NHS.
Hmm.
It's like at least, yeah, that's like at least you have the medicines and like you're taking care of yourself. But like, yeah, having a mini stroke, that says. All the much love to you. Hope you can recover fast. And thank you for the drive-by love, like Comrade Ibud. Yeah, so stay safe and healthy, comrades, as we're. Um, so why do Republicans have so much of like virile against like the LGBTQIA plus community? So, we have talked about this several times before, and like but a lot of it's fear, like an existential fear. If like trans folks, queer folks, as well as like Muslims or like black and brown people become the new normal, what doesn't that make them? Even though it's like you're fine as you are, there's actually is nothing wrong with being white. It is whiteness and white supremacy we have the problem of.
come over to our side? We have cookies.
And they
Yes,
actually
unfor-
do. Cookies have
Yes,
shown
we
up
actually.
on The Mandalorian.
Oh man, that's Cookie Monster did not know that because it's an excellent cosplayer of a guy as with a Cookie Monster like head as it were in a stormtrooper outfit with a sign saying they lied, they don't have cookies. That's a brilliant cosplay as it were. Even though you kind of have to like know some things as it were, but it's just like Florida and viewers, they love the Satan their Satan old joke. It still counts. Yeah.
In Florida, I have been attending. So in Tallahassee, the capital where I live, we've been doing something called Occupy Tally,
Mm.
which is
Yep.
and I also put pictures on my Facebook of that where we've had like a sit-in protest. We've had like abortion rights supporters camp out at the main courthouse and
Yep.
you know, protest abortions. Excuse me, DeSantis's 6 week abortion ban, and
Mhm.
70% of Floridians don't agree with the 6 week abortion ban. So
Well,
Yeah,
that's
the
the thing.
Republicans are an extreme minority party that are in power because the U.S. is a deeply right-wing nation by design.
yeah,
Yes. So there's also all the like the redlining, not just well, there's a redlining, which was why this is a deeply racist country. There's also the voter suppression, as it were,
Mhm.
which kind of coincides with the redlining and ghettoization of like black and brown people and that sort of thing, and the new Jim Crow of like jailing like black and brown people, being tough on crime, that sort of thing too. There's being a felon is so, as we talked several times before, it's been super difficult just to get food, let alone like get a job, and then also you can't vote. Um, and yeah, they are a minority party. They're always been a minority party, and it's just through like cheating, as it were. They
Mhm.
now it's just straight up cheating. Is they've been able to stay and maintain in power because of how the system is all set up, as it were. Um, Peterson family that own the largest like it owns it's the largest single contributor to Romy. Yeah. Before I forget, let's thank our patrons. Thank you to Joe who's in the chat right now. Laura, Stat Noise, Marty, Tim, Von Rack, the Fuck Boys, and Ely, and Aaron. And thank you all for giving us like money.
Joe, are you suggesting that Satan is gender neutral?
Well, Satan is gay according to that one rap video. So yeah, so a lot of so is speaking actually just like a
If you don't feel, what if it, like for me, like being an autistic person of color, what if you don't feel welcome even in your own culture because you don't like act like the stereotypical, you
yeah.
know,
It's kind of yeah, that's kind of interesting. And yeah, I don't have like anything like much to add as well too. Um, I don't know. I just like I don't think about it, but I just like yeah, stereotypes are there. Sometimes we put them there, and okay, it's like things should be back because the stream is continuing,
And
or
it
just
hasn't
so
frozen yet.
hasn't frozen yet. Um,
So you just missed the bit where we were all very, very wise, but that wisdom is gone now. You'll never get to see it. Sorry, everyone.
um. So let's see. So Zayatara, do you mind like repeating the question? Then now I have a chance to like
sure.
uh yeah.
And if Joey the Indigenous Heretic is in the chat, since we're both people of color and
Mhm,
both people of color at least,
mhm.
I'm not indigenous, but we're both people of color. It would also like that would also help too if he like added something to it, or anyone else who's a person of color or indigenous. But I was asking what like a simulation
Oh,
where
yeah.
if if you're a person of color, do you assimilate into American society or do you keep your own culture? But see, so you would think it's an easy question. That's an easy question. No, I would just keep my own culture and not interact with the dominant culture. But what if you as a person don't fit into your own culture, and then you have to make your own individualistic culture based on the dominant culture.
Well, that's now that thing is interesting, and like the thing I forgot about that part about like a simulationist. It's a simulationist in and of itself. It's a white supremacist thing,
Right.
it, and so is because of that, it, uh,
Well, it's like again, we're like I didn't get a lot of support from the black community, the community that I belong to, for help with autism. I didn't get that. I
mhm.
got a lot more support from white folks about it. Now maybe it was the stereotype, now maybe it was to them I wasn't this threatening black guy.
Yeah, there's always that.
A lot of it was that I would imagine, but it's like, but I've also just kind of grown up with just being influenced, I guess, by a lot of white stuff. I don't know, and
It's,
it's kind of made me who I am, and I kind of like who I am. I don't want to. I guess I'm saying like I don't want to change that to then interact with my own group, even though I'm not going to be accepted with them anyway. Like, what's the point of changing when I'm already this is already who I am. This is 30 years on in life. This is like my mom. We never listened to rap music. I mean, we were still black, but we never partook in all this, like and of course the stereotypes of blackness are white supremacist anyway. So
yeah.
it's I don't know.
Which is also the question about like simulation. The simulations in and of itself is a white supremacist thing. Whether it is like
Mm.
for someone who's just like is like someone who's just a francophone in Canada, but lives in an anglophone like part of Canada, like Ontario, and speaks English well, but because they're a francophone, have a bit of an accent, and so like Indigenous Heritage said, I'm trying to decolonize from the unhealthy shed, and that includes my Lakota culture too, as well as like mainstream. There's toxic issues in both. Where yeah,
Hmm.
great. And so and
And
that's the
also,
thing
let's be
about it.
honest, assimilation isn't really an option.
Yeah,
I
Right.
mean, look how well that
Yeah.
worked for the Cherokee.
yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the way I kind of look at it is like when it comes to a simulation, this is kind of like something that actually some members on the right and the left kind of agree. Like both sides don't really like a simulation. The people of color don't like it because they don't want their traditions to be Europeanized, and then on the other side they don't want the white culture doesn't want their culture to be darkened, I guess. So there's kind of like this weird intersectionality between these two sides where it's like they don't like they
I mean,
don't
it's like we want to exist as our own people on the other hand, and the other side says, no, we want you to die.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a difference.
well
It's
it's
just they
like
both agree that you shouldn't act like white people.
Yeah, and it's like it is okay if you don't fit into stereotypes as well.
what is acting like a white person? What is that? Like
It depends on like what is like like just
It
like
means asking
normal.
to see the manager. That's all.
okay,
Yeah, Joey said like most people don't like the idea of assimilations. Yeah, exactly, because like that's why the Borg from like Star Trek is not a representation of communism, of groupthink, and that sort of thing too.
why don't
And
I don't
even as this, that would be like Stalinism. If that, no,
Well,
it's
that's
white
settler
supremacy.
colonialism is the Borg.
Yes, exactly.
well, it,
That's why the Borg are pale as fuck.
okay, well now if okay, well if someone like asked me, do you want to be a white person? I would probably say not really because I enjoy being black. But it's like, but that's a very obvious question to ask. Oh, you like Titanic and you like music by people like white
Avril
rock bands?
Lavigne.
Yeah, it's like, but like I like that music and I'm not going to give it up because you want me to be some form of person of color that you think I should be.
Hmm.
In context for Edge, kind of like I said something that we use the word passing that reminds me as a queer person as it were, and we have talked about this on this channel as well for like trans folks as well. The idea of passing is like cis-hetero allopatriarchy in of itself. And boop to you, Sue, as well, Lucid for Council. You just joined in the conversation. We were talking about assimilation as were, because Isaiah is asking about assimilation for a black person, as it were, even though like he is a black person, like white people stuff, as in like Titanic and like 90s like songs and like Alvaro Ravine and that sort of thing too. And how he feels like he doesn't fit in with like black people because he doesn't like rap. But then going along the assimilation topic to like trans folks and queer folks about like passing. Mythos says even in the UK we don't like the idea of assimilation. Laxingers despise Yorkshires, and the North hates the South, etc. I can believe that.
Fucking sucks, even in England.
Yeah. No. English suck, yes, yeah, absolutely, and the South like sucks, and like London sucks in a lot of ways too. Yeah.
It's like under Thatcher, England lost, or sorry, the UK lost 1.1 million jobs,
Yeah.
100,000 of which were in the South, despite the fact that the South had like 90% of the population.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
basically, the English fucking suck.
Yes, exactly. And yes, the city simulation, as in the Borg, and again, we brought that up because, like, the Borg is like settler colonialism. You will be assimilated, resistance futile. I'm not visibly BOC, but I'm visibly disabled enough to never, ever be culturally accepted. And another thing, too,
I think
visual
that's okay. I think that's okay. Right?
should be okay, yes.
And it's like the thing, and like this is why I
Hey,
want to
Phoenix.
tell
Hey,
like
Phoenix.
Phoenix. And this is the thing I want to tell men who are on the autism spectrum, particularly men of color, is like you're not going to be accepted. So stop fighting. Stop fighting like a never-ending fight to be accepted in broader society. It's like for me, and like the movie people that I work with, sure, I said things that were maybe a little creepy. They were creepy, but I also knew that I was trying to interact with a group of people that I just probably don't have any interaction with, and you never will. Like it's a different operational system, and that's fine. You're not going to interact with everyone. A lot of this whole thing is like going to be me or someone else or well just me when it comes to film just finding my own thing and making my own thing and eventually putting that out there as uniquely Isaiah like
Mhm.
you're never going to be fully accepted. So stop trying to be accepted. Be who you are, and
Yeah. Mhm.
like and fuck everyone else. That's what I want to tell people. It's
Yeah.
like like yeah, I may have said something awkward, but there's a lot of things I could have put people off. I could have wore a Star Trek shirt, and they were like, "Oh, this is a nerd." Like you never know, right? So it's like I'm starting to feel like yeah I'm awkward. I'm in a good way. I'm different, and that's okay because that's what makes the world go around. And you're not gonna fit in with people who you thought you were gonna fit in with. There's gonna be conflicts, but that's just the way that is, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, the city has said like to assimilate is to adopt dehumanizing nature of the oppressors. And I would feel bad about that. Archie is at the yeah. Oh, that sucks for Archie that he didn't get treats as it were. But like glad that you like I'm not wealthy, but I can get food from like Walton like Family Marts for less. Yes. At least you got some food. So I'm glad that you did get that. And Phoenix, you can join the conversation too, because like well, Zay was asking about like simulation this as like a black person trying to like be accepted amongst white people, but yet doesn't fit in black stereotypes. And some white people find that strange too. You don't like hip hop, you don't like basketball. Well, you're not black, and there's a whole
Oh my
problem with
god,
that.
I'm blacker than you.
Well, again,
It's-
those stereotypes are based on what white people think we should be,
yes.
because both hip hop and sports are the only forms of capitalism that we were allowed to partake in.
What are you
Yep.
talking? There are black billionaires now. There's Oprah Winfrey and
Well, there's not many Oprah Winfrey scholarships in high school targeted towards men of color.
nope.
Is
And she is literally the only one.
this sure thing, Phoenix, we can give you a second. Yes, Joey too. You can jump into the call as well, especially since like another way of like trying to simulate autism, trying to like pass or mask it being neurotypical as were. It is Autism Acceptance Month. This is a good like a topic to bring up. So
Funny
it's
acceptance, not awareness, and also in my opinion, a lot of the whole autism awareness, a lot of it's just tokenism anyway.
no, that's not fair. Yeah, but like I believe it is Acceptance Month's word. So, yeah, we're just like not to be aware about like autism. It's like find an autistic friend and befriend them as it were, and talk about their autism. It's like no, accept that's like we think differently. I'm including myself in there. But I'm
Turn the
just like
lights down.
neurotypical.
Stop being noisy. Let them wear whatever the hell they want to be comfortable.
Yes, and if they're stimming, let them stim. But like, yeah, and how the hell can I pass for non-binary people? How the hell can they pass? Because like, what be androgynous? No, all non-binary people, most non-binary people can tell you, I don't owe you androgyny, and some people can identify as androgynous as is one label of gender expression and that sort of
I
thing
will
too.
say that when it comes to music, a lot, especially rock music, since a lot of it came from black people, technically it's even if I listen to Nirvana, it's still black music. It's just taken from black folks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana didn't have anything to do with that, but it's like it's like technically all the whether it's alternative music or rock, it still comes from black music. So technically, it's still my music. It's just been appropriated. So technically, I kind of get around it, and
Yeah, so I said you can enjoy Alchemy because like when you look at the like sources of Alchemy music, it's black people's music as well. So the city said, I'd rather destroy than assimilate. Acceptance and diversity of expression and being like should be focused. You should be fostered, not suppressed. White people, cishets, etc. need to like frick out. Yes, where you can curse here, in the city, yeah, unless you don't want to. But yeah, I think that's
And yes,
the thing.
Lucifia is right to advocate for the genocide of white people and cis people.
No. What we want is to end whiteness and white supremacy. That doesn't mean that white people are bad inherently. We will judge you by your actions.
Have you met
though.
white people? I mean, come on, be honest.
And we are joined by like Phoenix, who's connecting to audio. So is and like the meme that you just posted is on the show that reminds me of like, oh yeah, that happened in recent news. Hello, Phoenix, are you there?
Hey, Phoenix.
Mute. Hey!
Hey, we can hear you.
Yay!
So how are you doing? How is Archie? And like, what have you been up to?
Been able to pay at least my internet bill, get some stuff for Archie. Except I didn't get him treats today. He's upset.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is a bad thing, and you should be ashamed of yourself for that.
He has treats in the fridge. We have treats. We have treats at home.
Well, so yeah, I would say Phoenix. I wouldn't say I'm in the same boat as you, but I'm having issues finding a job. So I'm actually on unemployment. So I'm in the process of trying to get my rent paid up. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
I wouldn't say excuse me. I wouldn't say I'm like in an emergency, but because I get unemployment. Funny enough, in Florida, you would think I wouldn't get it, but yeah, I'm having issues finding a job for some reason.
It's a bummer. Yeah, I can't work because of my special cocktail of disabilities. It's like a perfect storm of like, okay, this person cannot function in the real world.
Mm-hmm. It's not only because like you have limited mobility of that, but also just like you can't stand other people. Which, as someone who worked at a gas station, yes, sometimes other people just cannot stand other people. I don't blame anyone not want to take a retail job.
Yeah, like
Yeah, go
my
ahead.
last retail job almost broke me.
Mm.
Well, it's like also too. I actually had to leave some jobs because I just can never fit into the culture either. And this is
Yeah.
well, it's like so I work at a job here in Florida where I work for a restoration company where we had like company vehicles and stuff that I volunteered to clean, and they made fun of me because of how I talk, because I talk like this.
Hmm.
So I had to it just became toxic, and because it's like the company was run by redneck white people who then employed black people. Then there was just me on the bottom of the totem pole. Am I supposed to say that? Bottom of totem
No, no,
pole?
no,
Well,
yeah.
Well,
I
part
get
of
what you
it
mean.
misunderstands what totem poles were like because
Yeah.
the bottom was near the ground where people could see it, so that's where the best stuff was.
Well, I didn't want to piss off Joey, so because I'm not indigenous. Maybe I use
I think
The
I think
learning
you're fine.
curve.
okay.
Is yeah, we know what you mean by that. Then it's just becoming like I was saying. And hey, Georgia P, and hey, Von Reck, you all can like also join the conversation as we talk about assimilation because like yeah, again, it's just like trying to like act like what is normal, whether it's be like not queer or like be able to pass as queer or accepted for being queer as a word. That's as I brought up many times before. There's like the simulations in LGBTQIA plus communities like the Harvey Milks or like the rat-faced Pete Buttigieg. I'm the acceptable gay man. I'm just like all of you as it were. I just happen to have a husband instead of wife. And then the liberationist, Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, is like, listen, society, this is who we are. You have to all accept us as we were. And hence pride. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Just use
like
higher. That's a good point, Joe. Corey. Just use higher current instead. Go ahead, Phoenix.
there's a lot of like my parents kind of wanted me to assimilate to like this idea of you have to be twice as good to get half as much, and that too I think broke me.
Mm.
Like my parents have always been like really image
Mm.
conscious. I think they did. One thing that sticks out in particular is one Halloween. I should say I was in my mid-20s. I was because no one else in my family is into Halloween. I was giving out trick-or-treat candy, and my brothers who were in school at the time, they left their backpacks in the hallway. My dad says to me, "Dead name, can you please move these backpacks out of the hallway so people don't think we're complete hillbillies?" And I'm just okay. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me then, but but now I'm just kind of like, who cares if they would have thought that? They don't live here.
There is bottom of the pyramid, but like you can be seen problematic as well. Yeah, exactly. So that's why hierarchies is a good like term to use because we all hate hierarchies anyway for inherently being hierarchies. See, yeah, because like, and this is the kind of thing where it's like sometimes even in my family we try to behave because we don't want to scare the straights. No, it's one thing. It's like we don't want to like be rude to the other people at the restaurant or something like that or bother them as it were, But if we just like randomly start quoting Monty Python and the Holy Grail and go through the whole movie quoting it as war, or if not that movie, then like Princess Bride or to include, then like, so what if like other people find us strange or weird or something like that? Let's embrace weirdness and strangeness. Damn it, weird is fine.
I know. Like I fell for that a lot when I was in school because I was a weird kid. I liked words, so I would read the dictionary a lot. I liked recognizing patterns in the ground. I talked weirdly when I talked at all.
Mhm.
And people tortured me for that. So I was just so at some point I was like, I just want to blend in. I just want to blend in so I can be left alone.
Mhm.
Like, something that sticks out to me in particular is in fifth grade, I think, a friend of mine and a few other kids in our class were working on a group project together. And I said, people are going to think this is weird. Like, don't remember exactly what it was. I was just like, can't we do something? I was like, can't we do something normal? And my friend was just like, dead name, would you rather blend in or stand out? And the thing is, I mean, I don't know what I thought about it back then when I was 10 years old. I had a 10-year-old brain, but something I think she didn't quite appreciate was that standing out to me meant getting picked on, getting tormented.
Mm-hmm. So
yes, I would have rather blended in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I don't know. Like, there's the uniqueness part of me that just wants to keep who I am and, fuck everyone else. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say like now, like I am kind of a little bit more typical. Like, I mean, I like music and everything, but it's not music people would probably be into. So, I mean, that you just run the risk of getting bullied, but as long as you feel good about yourself and things, that to me.
That something I reminded that's something that like Lincoln has like said before on like their stream. I think here on Social Alchemy too, because like well they're queer and they want to like dress feminine and present as we're presenting something non-masculine because like fuck masculinity honestly. Oh god, all masculinity is toxic. No, we're not saying about that. But anyway, is but then like because they're white too, they kind of like get into like want to like be a bit combative or at least respond to like someone saying racist stuff at like the wall that the food market or the grocery store is or that sort of thing too. But like her spouse Natsuneko is also trans and autistic and disabled just like Linda Quinn, but a person of color, dark skin, Cuban and Mexican mix. And so for her Naz, it's like these kind of like blending in or like not stirring the pot too much or causing too much trouble is for survival because she notices the racism in where they live northern Indiana a lot more and it's like a lot more of a danger to her. So that's why she would like not she would rather that like Lincoln does not like start to engage with like bigots or at the grocery store as it were, just like she wants to get their food to go in and get out as it were. And so maybe we kind of like forced to assimilate or mask or like pass in some ways or stay remain in the closet as it were, just so that like we can like live and survive and that sort of thing too. So it becomes a survival mechanism, and it shouldn't be. We should try to like fix the society so it's not bigoted towards or oppressive to like marginalized people, and like we don't have these oppressive hierarchies. It's that sort of thing too. Von says being out in the 80s, I was kicked out of like normal high school for being gay because I got into like many fights defending myself from attackers. Yeah. Uh, yeah.
I,
Uh,
I I hate that shit so much. I hate just like the idea that you just existing is causing a ruckus because people won't leave you alone, and then you get punished essentially.
yeah.
That I'm sadly familiar with as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that the person that starts the fight? Is the person that like throws the punch that like gets seen by the principal?
No, it's just
And
the person who is lower in social status.
oh yeah, then there's
So
and
girls, effeminate boys, brown people,
yep.
poor.
Yeah, and if the
Clothes.
principal or the like person with authority is of the privileged classes as it were, then yeah, they
Or
probably
even a
have
lot.
like yeah.
It's like I'm
So,
trying to
yeah.
remember if the movie with Morgan Freeman, where he introduced us all to the term HNIC. I'm pretty sure that he was one of the bad ones in that
Lean
one.
on me.
Yeah.
Mhm. As you know, Valrak, you reminded me of something else. So this was a stream a long time ago where it's like someone. This was a full right winger, fascist guy. I found out. I think he's a fascist. Who says like, I hate all this identity politics and labels, but the person he was conversing with is bisexual, and said, "No, listen. I tell people I am bisexual because sometimes when they find out that I'm bisexual, they are surprised and shocked." And then don't want to interact with me anymore because of their bigotry. So that's why I come up in front and tell people, hey, I'm bisexual, and like Von Reich find the gay pride flag. That's where we have to like so that's one of the reasons like that people do it, because like that's like her decision to say I'm bisexual is where I tell people that up front. That way they were not going to be friends with someone that like decides to end that friendship knowing that about like her. So like there's another aspect of that too.
Okay, I was about to correct you like mad there, Joe. He said that the Emperor was at the bottom of the Death Star. Um, but his throne room wasn't at the bottom of the Death Star. But Joe corrected that by saying he was at the end of the movie. Because Vader throws him down that ventilation shaft.
I don't know anything about this Star fights business.
Nope. Star Wars is just like a okay movie. Honestly, it's like it's like samurai movies, but like Western European and space.
Yep, sorry, I had to mute you. You're insulting my religion.
I, I hate this. I hate the sequels that came out and gave and introduced yet another brooding white boy who people think is attractive for some reason.
Well,
Hate
physically,
it.
he's a very pretty man.
No. Maybe. Okay, that's not fair. He's just not my type.
I'm okay again about the meme that you have on the stream as it were. Oh, poor Kid Rock hating all the rainbow pride like beers and stuff like that. Because yes, that's the culture war has affected Bud Light now. Now conservatives and reactionaries will never drink Bud Light ever again, and it's just like this.
Okay, good.
I mean, I don't know anything about beers. Like, I haven't had an alcoholic drink in 5 years, maybe. I don't know. I lost count. I never really liked alcohol.
It's
But,
a poison anyway.
Yeah,
See, now
people
you're attacking
who,
my other religion. God.
Okay, frat boy.
I'm not attacking anybody. God, people are so defensive about their habits. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. I don't like alcohol. I think it tastes like piss.
Yep.
And because of my medications, I shouldn't really drink it anyway.
Bud Light does taste like this. I've had it before. It's just like it sucks. Yet weirdly enough, I don't mind Pabst either, and that's like a cheap lager beer too.
You
That's
guys
because it's
taste
just
what?
water.
Is honestly a beers it would be dark beers like porters or stouts, and that's about it. But I usually go. I actually don't mind wine, and I would go with hard liquor or cocktails as were even tequila. But like I'm not a big fan of tequila. Actually, I was offered that by my coworker, but it's just like I shouldn't. I'm at work. And it's like, oh no, empty one of your bottles, and so like I maybe could have took him off on that, so I can like put some tequila at the bottom of one of my empty bottles and put it in my backpack and have it for like when I get off work. I'll do that next time if that's the case.
The only alcoholic drink I ever really liked was strawberry margaritas. You can make those version.
Mhm.
Actually, a lot of people in the circle of friends I usually have friends with a lot of drink alcohol. So, like one year, one of them made these really tasty sours. They were really good.
Mm.
I want to get back to making my own non-alcoholic cocktails,
Mhm.
but I can't always cook.
Yeah.
Still very crippled.
Mm-hmm.
Hard
Get
to cook things for me.
Mommy, you didn't give me any treats from the store. Then you expect me to cook for you? Oh, you really expect me to cook you? So yeah, like Joey said, have you heard of where that has gone? Where Republicans are coming out to ask people not to boycott because they're a big donor? Well, that's the thing too. That's where I'm not surprised. Rainbow capitalism. That's all Bud Light is doing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I wanted to make a video about rainbow capitalism, but there are already people who have made videos about it that are much better than anything I could do.
Anarchist Mugwump, I think he has done a video from years ago on rainbow capitalism. That's quite good. I'm gonna I tried to find that and link it. Is
Patchwork Heart, who I'm friends with, he has a good one too that he made a few years ago.
I'll link both of them. I'll at least get Patchwork Heart's video on rainbow capitalism. Because I can at least
Oh yeah, and since I'm on stream, I should say Patch is having issues with money right now. He's not making a lot of commissions, and he's also disabled and can't work. His wife is constantly between jobs, not getting not called back for interviews, and so he really needs help right now. So if you like, you can check out Patchwork Heart's channel. He has a Ko-fi, he has a Patreon, and he could really use your support.
You have a YouTube, Phoenix?
They do?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, Patchwork Hearts does have the YouTube video and a YouTube channel. I'll find Patchwork Hearts YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, he has a lot of great videos about mental health, media criticism, abuse within online communities, especially fandoms. It's all really, really, really great.
Yeah.
And
Send me.
he is very valid.
Send me the link.
He's a valid cat boy, just like me.
I will send the link to you. The link is in live chat to Patchwork Hearts YouTube channel, and the link is right there in our Zoom chat as well as I'll probably post it to the missionary group too as well. Yeah, I haven't watched all of Patchwork Hearts videos, but of the ones I've seen, even quick short ones, they're quite good and fun and entertaining, and informative too. He is a good kitty.
Yeah, they also have a Redbubble, so you can check them out on that. It's linked in their channel.
Mm-hmm.
I purchased stickers from the Redbubble. My favorite one that I bought was it's a skeleton hand that's lesbian flag colors giving the finger.
Yes, I see it. There's also there's a gay one too.
Oh yeah, he is very inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Also, keep in mind, Patchwork Heart is non-binary, uses he, they, it pronouns, and if I find anyone misgendering him, I will steal their kneecaps.
Steal the kneecaps. Interesting.
Hubcaps. You're supposed to steal hubcaps. They have resale value.
They're not going to learn anything from that. Now, if I steal their kneecaps, they'll learn something.
Especially if those John Brockman, we're going to come across the Battle Angel lead to a secondhand black market of prosthetic parts eventually, and so the kneecaps would be useful then.
In that case, steal their liver.
Not just their kneecaps. I shall hang them on my wall and drink hot chocolate in front of them while stroking my cat.
Yes, and besides, it's the organ donors repo man that are going to take people's livers, as in the media live. Yes, but I'm using it. What does that say? In case of death, and we have never failed in that adventure. A comedy show with one of the best horror scenes ever. Even horror fans are feel uncomfortable in this scene.
Yeah. Earlier, didn't you guys talk about non-binary passing or something like that?
I mentioned that. Yeah,
Mentioned it.
Yeah, it's not easy for me to pass because because puberty was inordinately generous, and I am terrified of surgery, especially surgery near vital organs.
Yep.
And it's hard for me to bind. It's if I wear like a sports bra under a tank top and like wear an oversized hoodie or a vest over it, it hides it a little bit. But like most of my pants are leggings and they're very clingy, show off the curves, but they're also comfortable. That's why I wear them.
Yeah,
And
that's why I wear them too.
I bought a few pairs of them from Torrid, and guess what? They have pockets.
Oh, leggings with pockets? I never heard of this before.
I already have like a sundress from Torrid, and a skirt from Torrid that also have pockets. Torrid is very good with the pockets. Even the onesies I bought from them have pockets.
Is because imagine women and femfolk can like actually need to like hold things in pockets as well. Not everyone likes purses.
I have a backpack. I take my backpack everywhere. Holds more stuff. Holds a stim toy if I need one. Sometimes you can carry groceries in it.
I also like carry a backpack wherever I go. Whenever, or at least whenever I go with like to work or something like that, I always have a backpack.
Yep. I don't usually wear it. I just put it on my walker, like let it hang from one of the handles.
Yep.
And when I take my wheelchair out, when it's not missing a tire, I just put it on like it's the wheelchair's backpack. If that makes any sense.
Yep. So there's like what do I want to talk to next that I promoted? Let's talk about.
I was looking on Reddit for anti-fascist news, and I found the r/anti-fascism subreddit. But while I was there, while I was trying to get there, I typed in Antifa before I could put the second A, Antifa. I saw the r/anti-feminists subreddit. And I just want to point out that Anti-Fascists of Reddit has 114,000 members. Anti-Feminists has 44.
How many do men's rights and Red Pill have?
Shut up. Red Pill Woman has 66,000. Red Pill Wives has 12,000. Red Pill Books, 16. Red Pilled Rogan, 8.5.
There can be a lot of overlap because like anyone can like join multiple like Reddits.
I just want to interject with just something entirely unrelated. When I was at the Walton Family Marts this morning, I discovered that Mr. Beast has a line of plant-based cookies. They're called Feastables. I got some peanut butter chocolate chip because that's my favorite flavor.
He's just lifestyles of the rich and famous for the YouTube crowd. Just conspicuous spending of cash.
Not bad. Okay, yeah. So that's the good note. Oh, that's right. I have vegan ice cream. I haven't like jump into it yet. I decided to get myself some Ben & Jerry's. Forgot what flavor it is. I think it's one of the cookie dough ones. Because like unfortunately with like fancy ice creams is where most of the regular ice creams are made with eggs, or most of the regular fancy ice creams are made with eggs, and so I can't eat any Ben & Jerry's like flavors except for the vegan ones. But like one of the topics I wanted to like mention on the stream is because this got posted yesterday on the Discord server I'm part of. The Democrats are introducing a trans rights bill, basically just like to amend the Civil Rights Act to include transgender people and gender identities as it were. Which and now okay, to be fair to the Democrats, they introduced it last year too. It just never gone anywhere. They introduced it in June in 2022. Midterms. So, even the author of this like Venn piece, that like I said, like down at the bottom, still the major is, as it was last year, largely a symbolic one. Because even if one should overwhelmingly pass, it won't, because they're against control of the House. And they had the control of the House and Senate last time, but they had a very slim margin because a 50-50 split, and with the Cop Harris as the tiebreaker. And there's still like some like Democrat senators that are actually kind of conservative. Manchin as well, Christensen now non-Democrat, blah blah. And but like but as the author said in the piece, even if no federal law regulations would change, and lawmakers are not bound to implement its like directiveness as the Republicans are doing what they're doing, as I mentioned before, with the Attorney General of Missouri trying to do. Still debating about Mr. Beast. He's not really sure about him yet. I never even know that Mr. Beast was like a thing until like he showed up in Fortnite. Honestly, and someone said, "How can you not heard of Mr. Beast? He has over 100 million like subscribers on YouTube." People, listen. My YouTube is like very specific for me. I'll follow a lot of political stuff. So
My
like,
YouTube is full of queer people, brown people, and communists. There's a lot of overlap between those. Mr. Beast doesn't match any of those.
yeah, is I think he'd probably be like at least better than like most liberals, but I don't know.
No, he recently did a thing where he paid a professional military guy to hunt and assassinate him. Get $100,000 if he won. And it was just a bunch of stunts with Mr. Beast, like climbing along the roof of a train, taking a helicopter, using a tank to destroy the guy's car.
You're so crazy.
Renting every room in a hotel and filling it with people doing weird shenanigans, like sumo wrestlers.
Holy
It was just a
shit.
huge exercise in spending shit tons of money.
Yeah.
So no, he's just a liberal. Yeah.
Mr. Beast is a human cat. Just doing horrible shit for no reason. Archimedes, I swear to God. I'm sorry. He's getting into everything. He's trying to tear apart this thing I bought at Hot Topic the other day. The new bracelet. He wants to attack the beans.
Oh, so Hot Topic's still around. I have bought some stuff from Hot Topic before.
I haven't bought anything with Hot Topic in a minute.
Actually, I think should go back to Hot Topic sometime soon because we'll see if I still have pieces of it. I don't know because one of the baseball ball caps I have, the Batman, the anime Batman one, Batman. I tear it off because like I was like so angry at myself as like sucking at Fortnite that like bit into the bill and then tear it as were because like yeah I do have chew toys. I have some of them like around here, stimming chew toys for adults. And like it kind of works, but it's just like I don't know. I have so much frustration and anger at myself sometimes when
I swear to God.
that I want to just like rip and tear things. Or I have like a tear like parts of my quilt.
I don't carry one because I'm afraid that if I have one, when I get stopped by the police, they may think I have something that
That's always a possibility. Yeah,
Like they need an excuse.
yeah. I have a tiny water bong from Hot Topic. See, that's one of the things I kind of like notice when you at the Hot Topics. At least the one that's like in the South Mall.
Cat, I swear to God, if you don't leave that alone. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'm trying to hold him. He's being bad, so he has to be baby. Archie, do you want to go to gay baby jail?
But yeah, Mr. Beast supporting Chris being like a trans is a tiny good. So Mr. Beast at least kind of like passed the like the slow bar of being a decent human being, accepting trans people for being trans and so on and so forth as well. Or it's kind of like I said about like my coworker. He's no longer a coworker. He left the company. That like he's not opposed to people being gay. Okay, good. But he's also doesn't have a problem with people being anti-gay. It's just like okay, that's
now
a
we
problem
have
for
a problem.
Yes. And he was the same person that complained about like the gay agenda affecting his like media that he wants to enjoy.
He does have a problem with people being gay.
What is the gay agenda? I don't get
His example was in Star Trek Beyond when Sulu was gay, when like Sulu was not gay in TOS.
Okay. But
I'm not binary. I don't even have agenda.
But the actor is gay himself.
Actually, well, no, George Sakai, the actor of the original TOS Sulu, is gay.
Well, yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if like it was actually established in the show of TOS, but then it got established in Star Trek Beyond that Sulu, the Calvin timeline Sulu,
It was
is
definitely
gay.
not established in the original series that Sulu was gay. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Roddenberry was not willing to do that. Not
Yeah,
at all.
he got cold feet after the interracial kiss between like Kirk and Uhura.
That's easy, Michelle Nichols.
Mm-hmm. He has wrestling powers, Michelle Nichols. That's right. She died.
He
Not
was
that.
a very, very horny cishet white dude, and that's what he was willing to
Oh,
support.
I got her autograph. I don't know if I showed you guys that. I got Michelle Nichols' autograph.
Nice.
I think you have showed that, or no, you I think you did show it on like Steve Shot's Patreon. Like, hey, Osman and Doc, yeah, down creative decisions, yeah, exactly.
You guys want me to show it to you again?
Hey, if
Feel
you want
free.
to,
Hey.
sure, go ahead.
Show it.
I mean, Phoenix might not.
Archimedes!
There it is, autograph of Michelle Nichols.
Nice.
Yeah,
Lucky.
I got it from TampaCon back in 2017 for $40.
Nice.
So, Joey.
So yeah. Oh yeah, and I also I have that. I one day want to, I guess, get the autographs of some of the TNG folks.
Mm-hmm.
This glitter's terrible.
Mm.
So, you know.
Better hurry.
Yep.
Picard's about to die. He's like really old.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get Riker's because maybe he can autograph my this is Commander Riker as a Malcorian, the first episode, first contact episode that they did. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Hey, that's cool. And maybe he would sign that as well. So what else I want to like say bring up? Hey, what did I promote that we are going to talk about? I guess like oh yeah. Okay, so this is like a conversation I had yesterday on like NASA Echo Slack channel and like mentioned it on Economicon Slack channel. So should people be held accountable for their political actions, like just for donating to like certain politicians, as it were?
In what way do you mean held accountable?
As well, because
You
like
should
this
impeach
is,
Clarence Thomas for being friends with a Nazi who gives him lots of money.
no, definitely that. But no, I'm referring to the controversy that surrounds Scott Cawthorn, creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. And when it was found out that like, and yet, because Scott Cawthorn says that he's pro LGBTQA plus, he loves that community, and there was like a huge fan base of Five Nights at Freddy's, being queer too. But then when they find out that like he donated money to many different politicians, some Democrats, but some Republicans, including Ben Carson, Mitch McConnell, and Donald Trump, there was a huge backlash against him, including doxing and death threats. Now, I do not approve the doxing of the death threats, but yet I can understand the feeling of betrayal that the LGBTQA plus community had to Scott Cawthorn for donating to like those politicians, even though he said, even though he says like, listen, I'm a Christian, as it were. It's kind of interesting that like to Nasnako, who is a friend of mine, so I'm not going to hold it too much against her for this. But maybe she has different like information than I do and others in the community. But it's kind of like he was ignorant. He didn't know that like those politicians hold those like bigoted views against LGBTI plus communities. But he's always been a Republican, always been a conservative that way. He is Christian and pro-life, which is pro-life is like a no-go for me. But yet to like
I think at this point we just have to just begin with the base assumption that if you're a Christian, you're not a good person, and you have to actively prove you are.
I don't know if that's totally fair.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to personally take that stance. I'm not going to judge people for whatever personal faith that they have, unless they say something like I'm pro-life or I'm anti-gay or like I don't have a problem with people being anti-gay, for example. I would judge people by their actions instead, and not by their personal faith alone. Unless they're fundamentalists, as where I believe that, if they believe in young Earth creation, it's like I'm not going to discuss science with them whatsoever and just avoid that topic. It's so that's the kind of the question because honestly in my opinion it's like no, Scott Cawthorn donated to those politicians, and okay, some of the parts of the backlash was really harsh against him. Again, don't prove the death threats of the doxing as were, which is what caused him to retire from video game development. Honestly, he made boatloads of money from Five Nights at Freddy's because those are games were simple assets and he used them effectively. They were successful and he made many of them, all of which were successful. I think probably because the streaming culture, YouTube, and then later on Twitch came about, and that became a thing where it's just all the streamers got scared at the jump scares in that game as well, and became popular content for people to consume. So that's how. So it was just caught lightning in a bottle with that, and it was successful. Scott Cawthorn also says that he's as kids is going to be focusing on that, which probably contribute to his decision to retire. But I'm just so. It seems like Nas and others who more hate the backlash, the worst of the backlash against him because of doxing and threats and death threats and all. And again, I'm against the death threats and against the doxing, but just I'm not sure if I'm just going to say that it's okay for someone to make the mistake of donating to Donald Trump as well.
I mean, of course, doxing and death threats are not okay.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, how would you not know what Ben Carson is all about? Or Mitch McConnell?
Mm-hmm.
Or Donald Trump? So it's just if you know what they're about and you're still okay with giving them money, you should be held accountable for that. Just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, I think that it's definitely, Scott, it's one thing for someone to vote for Trump, as a Joseph person for voting for Trump, that's for whatever reason this were, or it's another thing to support Trump, and that's what Scott Cawthorn did by donating financially to Donald Trump's campaign as well. Even though, even then, up to oh well, yeah. Actually, the IGN article and the Kotaku article has the links to the shared secrets sort of thing. Well, I think no, it's shared to a tweet as well, but the Taco article had yeah. Here's the screenshot of those kind of things. It was 2020. He donated to those people, to the National Republican Senator Committee in 2020. So he made these donations in 2020, small amounts of not huge amounts, but he donated to these campaigns in 2020. So as well as donated to Scott Carson in 2015 and donated to Republicans in 2020, including Mitch McConnell. So he knows what they're about by then. Yeah, exactly. Contact questions. Ben Carson got tons of really late because of medical background for too long. I see. So yeah, is to me it's just you just supported fascist Anglicans as were. He probably doesn't think them as fascist Anglicans, but that's because conservatism in the USA as it is. But I'm still the position is no. It's a good thing that Scott Cawthorn is just retired as were. He even kind of said, if I get canceled, then so be it, as were. I think he said that in his Reddit post. Yeah. At least he just accepted his fate instead of complaining about it, which I guess he's kind of complaining about his fate as well. So what else have you all been up to? Anyone in the chat as well? Watch any good YouTube videos or shows or books or anything like that?
I've been listening to there's a Star Trek YouTuber named Rowan J. Coleman. I've been listening to a lot of his video essays about Star Trek TNG, Star Trek DS9, and Star Trek Voyager.
I'm not sure it's a show I wanted to rewatch, but then again, I kind of want to rewatch all of Star Trek, which is just show this is just okay. Especially since I don't remember much of TOS, honestly. and I remember more about like TNG, but not everything. I should have skipped Code of Honor though, and there's probably like a list I can go to is like, okay, this is a not good episode, you can skip it. This is not good episode, you can skip it, and like, well, TNG never has like overarching story arc. It's episodic, so I can easily skip like the episodic ones.
Oh, speaking of TNG, I'm tonight I'm gonna watch I'm in season 4.
Mhm.
I'm in between. I just got done watching Night Terrors. If anyone's ever seen that one,
Ooh.
like the Enterprise D is caught in this like energy draining field of space, and just
Yeah,
the
no,
use of butane that rings a bell.
again, it's been so long since I watched any TNG episodes, so like I have to like rewatch them. And
I'm sure Steve knows what I'm talking about.
oh yeah, Steve would know what you're talking about because like Steve is a super fan with that kind of like encyclopedia knowledge, but yet also just wants Star Trek to just tell good stories and not be like fan servicey or like go for nostalgia as it were too.
I will say though, watching that episode stoned last night did kind of give me. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because it's a horror themed episode. So
Yeah, I can see that. And no, Jordan Rapia, I haven't seen anything about like the Ben Carson movie with Cutie Gooding Jr. It's just like, it's like, okay, it depends on how they go because there's also like the movie about Dick Cheney, but that was like critical of Dick Cheney as it were. So I don't mind moving like that. But so I want to know what like the how this Ben Carson movie is going to like take and that sort of thing too. Let's see, Joe McClure's rereading The Expanse. So been seeing a lot of Ben Battered in my feed, and Randy Railroad has like made new videos in the last month. I'm not familiar with those YouTubers. I don't watch that much YouTube, honestly. Though it's just like even though I could like, even though I could like just like have YouTube up in the background as I'm playing Fortnite as well.
Um, I watched some YouTube. I discovered this. Actually, Danny Quartz. He made this video response to this
Yeah.
transphobic YouTuber Misha Petrov.
Mhm.
She's like got a lot of videos about how non-binary people aren't real. We're just crisis actors, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, and like she's very like, I'm not like the rest of Gen Z. The rest of Gen Z is crazy and they all want to be ugly. And it's
I think
very
they mean
it's
interesting looking and not all exactly the same. Cardboard cutout Karens.
yeah. I left a comment on that video that was maybe kind of petty, but I don't really care. What I said was, honey, don't call other people ugly when your eyes have different zip codes.
Which does remind me, I need to watch Danny Cork's like a video. I haven't yet, which is what I just posted in the chat. And then there's also like Captain Andy's like latest video on decom comms of like the sunk cost fallacy. I still need to watch like too, which I just posted in the live chat as well. Because like both Mhm. What?
no, that was me. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you have like your speakers on and like you open up the YouTube videos. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because yeah, even though like both of them are not too like long, it's like I still haven't gotten around to it. I'm really bad about like that sort of thing. There's a lot of things I haven't getting around to. What else I want to like to say? Hey, John Brockman, have you like I've been watching any like new shows or doing anything like that?
Mandalorian, new season of Ted Lasso. There was this show called Last of Us, came out a little while back. Don't know if you heard about it. It was kind of indie.
Yeah, I heard good things about that. I still have not played the Last of Us video game though.
Well, it's only available on PlayStation, so.
But I have a PlayStation.
Actually, it might be available on PC as well. I don't
Yes,
know.
it's now available on PC. They're like the Last of Us remastered, I think.
Which means I can finally pirate it. No, I would never do that. I mean, you
No.
wouldn't download a fire exit at a lesbian bar.
I mean, you can't. There's abandonware, so there's like PCs and stuff like that or things that you can download, PC games that you can download. That like, yeah, no one's gonna care if you download this because it's been abandoned. Uh, it's okay. So I'm gonna share this like meme that like Phoenix posted and share to us. Yeah, because and some people just don't want like a go beyond like seventh grade like understanding of biology and that sort of thing too. They're comfortable with that.
Yep.
Really, it's not even a seventh grade understanding of biology. It's that kid from Kindergarten Cop.
Mhm.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Just like, I mean, I don't know why they actually use that clip as a flex. I'm just like, why are you bragging that your biological knowledge is equal to that of a kindergartner?
I think y'all
You are a
misunderstood.
grown-
The Jeff
you are a
Foxworthy thing
grown-ass
was smarter than
person.
a fifth grader, not a 5-year-old.
I mean, like, yeah, like when I was 5, I had brothers. My parents explained that like in an elementary way. I like still always had like weird feelings about my gender.
Mhm.
I felt like people just called me a girl and went from there. And I'm just like, why didn't I get a say in this? I just want a vibe.
Mhm. I didn't really question. Was there times I questioned my gender like earlier, younger than that? Definitely around like mid-30s. Once I discovered the Shows of Justice, like a movie that on YouTube, as it were, in response to like Gamergate. That's when I started questioning things. But most of the times I would come away, no, I'm a cis man that just wear leggings. As where my gender expression may not be like as that of a cis male, but like I'm fine with that. I'm still a cis male though. And then it's just like, no, I'm not cis. Damn it. No, Jordan, I haven't heard anything about like I don't know anything about Anna Caspera going turfy as or if she's going. Oh wait, yeah, I have heard about this. So for those who don't know, Anna
Yeah.
Caspera is like a commentator on TYT, the Young Turks, as it were. Who? Okay, so what I've always heard about the Young Turks, well, the choice of the name, which apparently they just did not know about the like that sort of thing in association and how Young Turks is like to the Armenian genocide or denial of the Armenian genocide. They
The
never intended
Armenian
that.
diaspora.
Except then
And-
that Cenk Uygur came down on denying the Armenian genocide, I'm pretty sure.
Ah.
I call him skank yogurt.
See, and I don't watch TYT as where I know that they do alternative news from a slightly left perspective, that sort of thing too. But then there's like some of my friends, some of the same friends that like Phoenix and I have, is just like look at Cenk Uygur and think like, okay, he seems to like want to say all the right things and claims to be a democratic socialist and that sort of thing too. But if he's a millionaire, multimillionaire, he would just like he would just like morph right into that role just quite well and that sort of thing too. But when I heard that Cenk Uygur was like cracking down on like union busting for like TYT, that's like, no, Cenk Uygur, you're not a socialist. No socialist would actually would do union busting as well. But if you don't, so you don't know about what has recently happened, because like Anna Caspera has like went to Twitter to rant about things as where I'm a woman, not a birther. Stop using the word birther to like mean to like dehumanize me and that sort of thing. It's like, listen, Anna, step back. I understand your personal opinions on the word birther. I don't know anyone that has called you a birther though, and if someone has like called you a birther and you don't like it, you can express that you don't like being called a birther. So, but the thing is, the reason why we say please use the term generally speaking a birther or like someone who menstruate, which it was that term, someone who menstruate, that upsetted Jackass Karen Rowlands that started her transphobic rant like years ago. So there's that. And it's a more inclusive and more accurate term when we talk about reproductive rights to say birther.
Yeah, but it's so
instead
awkward. Why not just use uterati?
I like that. I wouldn't be quite so diplomatic about it. I'd just be like, bitch, that expression is meant to include people like me who are not women or are not women all the time, but still have wombs.
Yes, so non-binary folks and trans men, but also about like I always bring up about the term like a birther or someone who menstruated, as were, is more accurate to what we're talking about because there are cis women that are not birthers because they don't have a uterus. They had a hysterectomy. So,
Or they were born, or they just were born without one.
oh yeah, that's right. That can happen too.
That can happen.
Yes.
Or they have weird ovaries, or they're XXY, or things like that. There's lots and lots of different ways to be women who don't have uteruses, and to be not women who do.
Yes. I mean, Letterano has like XX chromosomes.
Well done, Joe. Well, it's really easy not to understand the Kinks. They're a very complex band, Ozma. Liberals can occasionally have whole long conversations where they completely miss a serious thread. Like I remember podcast, Cecil and Tom.
Cognitive dissonance?
Yes, where they were talking about the problem with Pornhub. How Pornhub, about a year or two back, it was discovered that if you put in certain search terms, you could find some illegal content.
Yeah.
And they had a long discussion in which Tom repeatedly basically said that all women who do sex work are forced into it. Or that was just his implication. That was the reason women get into it. And it's like, yeah, dude, it's capitalism, so on the one hand, yes, but on the other hand, a lot of them really enjoy the work.
Sex work is work, and there are people that do actually like. Sometimes it is the necessity of capitalism because a lot of disabled people and queer folk can't get regular jobs, as we just mentioned from Phoenix, your situation. But many are in that boat too. Sex work is probably one of the few work that they can do, so they set up an OnlyFans or a mini vids, and I do know some comrades that do that too. So like, there's something to that, but like, there's nothing wrong with sex work. It's work. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking with a friend yesterday, a local friend. We were met up for coffee, and like he said, I should. He's on disability too. He says I should be careful because that as like posting pics on Twitter and like requesting funds could like affect my disability case. And it's just like, yeah, I get that, but it's frustrating because they put us in this position.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, it's not enough to live on. Yeah, sometimes I gotta show a little tit.
And also, ask for like
$10 for it.
And it also, for me, it sucks because I can't work on any of my art and all that stuff. Like, so it's.
And FYI, if you like, Phoenix, do you have like? I think you like your various links are like a link in your like a card.co.
Yeah.
And you can find the card.co link on like Twitter there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my OnlyFans started again, but that's why I'm posting on Twitter instead, and had to make my Twitter 18 plus only.
Yeah.
I
just like kitties. I love you, but shoo. If you're under 18, shoot.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Where was I going? Unfortunately, that's the case where, like, for you, Phoenix, you posted the pics again, like, hurt your disability.
Oh, it's still running. It's just
okay. Yeah. Okay. We're at least. It's
part of why I don't post them very often.
True, yeah. But like, so many people I've tried to help out, like my friends in property too, by making these suggestions, this suggestion, as it were. But like Nasaneko and Linquin, people have suggested to them, have you tried getting on food stamps? It's like, no, we looked into it. If we do start going on food stamps, they'll like take away from NASA's like SSI, and they need NASA's SSI to be able to pay for rent. And they used to be able to pay rent and 1 week and their phone bill and 1 week worth of food. Now it's only a couple of days worth of food, if that. Mhm.
I've actually heard that shouldn't happen. Maybe I could be wrong.
It could be like case by
Yeah,
case
like
with the different states. But
Look
that's
at me, these leave them alone. You're so bad.
but that's from what I've heard from. But that's according to like Lincoln and Naz, who have looked into it, and they could look into it again. And Lincoln's still not on disability, and there are times where she's like miss working and that sort of thing too. But like even like Esther's like, but do you miss? But like, do you really want to go back to work even though it breaks your body? But there is that thing that like for some of us, like no, we kind of do have a desire to be productive, as it were, and so if we are not productive, we feel like lazy or that sort of thing, and we kind of like a question like, what do we do? I definitely dealt with that when I was on, as what I would say, on sabbatical, but really what happened, I got fired. Yeah, the question of what I was is where I can't do sex work, I don't have the confidence and way too much body dysphoria. Yeah,
I'm
that
thinking
makes
about
sense.
doing a disappointed dad OnlyFans. I tell people that they have so much potential, they could do better. I don't do any nudes. I just, mildly humiliate people. I tell them I'm disappointed in them.
Some porno fans. Generational.
I
don't know.
I definitely do think about my parents just being like, just seeing that and being like, where did we go wrong? She was such a good girl, etc., etc.
I trying to. I think one of the I forgot which black meeting I remember. I think it was Chris Rock, where like his job as a father is like try to make sure that his daughter does not go onto like the strip pole. But Chris Rock's Chris Rock too.
Will Smith should have smacked him harder.
Again, it's just like all the world was talking about. It's like, wait, what happened to the Oscars? And then I just heard was like, oh, yeah, I have no problem with Will Smith backing Chris Rock, honestly.
Yeah, it's amazing. They kicked Will Smith out of the Academy after 3 days. After watching Harvey Weinstein rape his way through the C-list for 30 fucking years.
Will Smith didn't do anything wrong. I'd smack the shit out of someone for my wife if I had one.
Again, you can check out like Phoenix's Twitter in case you're interested in that. It's Lucidia. I struggle with that too. I'm tired to do audios, but me and my voice have like a strange relationship. And yeah, the IWW does have like chapter of like a sex work. So the IWW definitely welcomes sex workers, absolutely, as they welcome all workers, including retired workers and disabled workers. The only workers they do not accept is like any politician, any CEO, any capitalist, basically, and any cops. Cops are class traitors. So
become a wobbly. Leave for Jesus, or because I told you to. Either one.
This is because Phoenix will come and take your kneecaps.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And we are pretty much out of time.
Yeah.
Yes, we ran up. I kind of ran up the theme of like things to talk about, so I think that's a good time to like say, hey, thank you for everyone that's coming and listening and watching, even going through the technical difficulties. See, where did I go? Here we go. Okay, so here's the link to phoenixscard.co. Bunch of links there.
Thank you.
Including like Amazon wishlist, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Tumblr, DeviantArt, Medium, YouTube, and Facebook, and also their GoFundMe too as well. So they're like Cash App videos, PayPal, Patreon, and the GoFundMe to help them like live comfortably as well.
Also, I should add that my birthday is on the 29th. It's coming up. I will officially be in my late 30s. And I'm going to need a lot of cheering up.
The big 3-0. The big 3-0.
The big 3-6.
Oh, I did the math wrong. And yeah, being in late 30s. Mm-hmm.
Late 30s. Archie.
I'm actually 30, but you wouldn't know it if you looked at my face.
Is well, lucky you. I said that insultingly, but like no, that's like kudos to you, Isaiah. So, Isaiah Taylor, you have your two YouTube channels. The Sinister Intelligence channel and like the Autistic Modeling Society. You also have your own Instagram too of like Cult Culture 92. And yes,
Actually, I may have changed it because I just got a new phone and I'm having issues getting back into Code Culture 92. So I was just thinking maybe I should just start me a new channel, a new account.
if you can log back into like Cult Culture 92, like you give that a chance. But like if not, then yeah, you can go ahead and make your new one too. Because Contact Rush is like one of my favorite shows. I'm gonna get on, but it's awesome anyway. The Fluid Voice is going to be back on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific, as it were. It's been so long. Whereas like Osmoth and Dark, Christy Abbey, and like Prefects and the gang have all been up to, as it were.
Just look for Isaiah Taylor, ISIAHTAYLOR, he him, and it's the picture of the USS Enterprise D as the profile pic.
Mhm.
That is.
And I am Summer Geek on Twitter, Summer Geek on co-host, Summer Geek on Tumblr, Summer Geek on YouTube. I'll eventually post up more videos on YouTube again. Summer Geek on Twitch. I'm gonna be like streaming on Twitch like after I get off this call. And like I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. Probably I've done a lot of talking, so I'm probably not gonna do a reading stream. I'm going to play Stardew Valley instead because Stardew Valley is based. It has a wizard, has magic, as an action RPG, and is far better than like Pigfart Legacy because you can be lesbians in that game.
Yay!
Yay for lesbians. And John Brunkman.
Sounds like a good idea.
John
Sounds like a
Brunkman.
good idea. You could say that.
Yes.
That's mine.
Yeah. John Brunkman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Indeed, Dungeons and Debacles, a D&D podcast. We are stopping an evil red dragon cult. We are not quite cops anymore.
Yes. Yay for not being cops. And content warrants for death for the episode. Oh, Osman and Dark. Okay, that's good to know. And don't forget charity links out that page for like many links to like our comments, including Phoenix, including Joanna Roberts, including Nats Neko, including like many others. I think actually Christy Abbey's pet pal is actually still in there. So there you go. Check it out. Many people in need that like need a helping hand. Charity links that page. Only give if you can afford to, and don't be like me and overcharge your credit cards. Or at least overcharge one of my credit cards. The other one I can't overcharge. They like stopped me and they're like, nope, you can't do that as well. The other one doesn't have a problem with me doing that, so that's kind of frightening. Should be careful with that.
Capitalism.
All right. There, comrades. Take
Bye-bye,
care.
everybody. Take care of
Yeah.
yourselves.